Добрый день, дорогая публика. Я рад
Once again, good day, dear audience. I'm glad to see the familiar faces, and I enjoy that you also enjoy it in our Techno tent, and we will discuss a very important point for the development of the whole crypto market. I will speak about blockchain technologies, and we will cover the relation between the government and cryptocurrencies. We will also consider the example, the conflict between SEC and TON. So let us cover the plan of actions. We will delve into Gram, we will see its brief history, we will learn about SEC, learn about the conflict between SEC and Gram, and obviously we will learn from the history, from this case, and let us begin. In 2016, when the famous brothers Duros decided to create their own cryptocurrency, they already had Telegram Messenger at that time, and at that time creating Gram was to create a token tied to the Messenger. It's a great idea, because when a new project, usually there are problems with bringing in investors. And at that time, Telegram was a very popular messenger. Obviously, Viber, WhatsApp were popular. They had many people, but 300 million people who used Telegram is a very good and big audience for a new project. And the project was interesting not only because of that, probably it would become popular, but still, it had great technical capabilities. And one of them is a very, very high TPS, it's transactions per second. It's basically a bandwidth for the blockchain. And Gram had basically beat all the records for this metric. At some point, it had 50,000 transactions per second. And by the way, Visa or MasterCard can have 5,000 transactions per second. And that was not the only advantage of Gram at the time, because it great scalability. That means that the more users get into the blockchain, Gram gets even better, it works even better. And it seemed great, it sounded great, the project developed, and in 2018 it had ICO, and it earned just gigantic, enormous sum of money, 1.7 billion of US dollars. So what is an ICO? It's very popular in the crypto world. Basically, it's a form of fundraising. If you go to Kickstarter and you want to support some author, or you want to aid some new development, you just can pay your money, you will get some merch in return, maybe you will get nothing. But ICO is a new form of fundraising which is tailored to crypto world. So how is it different from normal fundraising? Well, for investing in a promising project, the authors of the project give you basically an early access to the tokens, which will be the foundation of some blockchain project. It doesn't have to be a cryptocurrency, because ICO was applicable to NFTs. But this is what Telegram did, and it's interesting. In most cases, ICO for small projects, they are public. Anyone, any school child, any schoolboy, schoolgirl could get into the ICO and get some initial tokens, and they could develop basically their own investment strategy for this cryptocurrency. But Telegram did something else. They proposed ICO only to qualified investors. If you are a serious investor, or maybe semi-serious investor, you probably know the difference between the qualified investor and a regular investor. And the difference is that, for example, if you are in Russia and you just downloaded the Tinkoff investment application, you can buy shares of Sberbank and some other Russian companies, but as long as you get into the complex financial tools or instruments area and working with the foreign companies' shares and bonds, you have to prove that you are a qualified investor. So this is what Telegram did. Americans came, and maybe you can sense some Americophobia in my presentation, but this is not true. This is what happened. The biggest force when we speak about economic decisions. Obviously, it was not the old Americans. I'm not speaking about rednecks. I'm speaking about qualified investors. And SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, was one of these people who came. It's a body which regulates and oversees all the financial transactions in the United States and globally, because the United States has the #1 economy in the world. This body works with it's a very important body, and it's one of the pillars of stability of American system. But SEC, besides doing some real important and valuable work, protecting the market from the fraud, it decided, let's say, to spoil the fun for the gram. Why did they decide to do so? Because unfamiliar to the government, what should they do with them? That's why the government and the regulatory authority want to bring cryptocurrency to something which they are familiar with, and they can work some legislation around it. And securities is one of them. And they called the gram to the court, and they decided that the gram was some security. And we will oversee your actions and what you do and what you will do. Obviously, Telegram did not like it. And we do understand that brother doers have their own political beliefs and views. And Telegram and any cryptocurrency want to decentralize our life. And one of the aspects is an attempt to basically go away from the government. And Telegram decided to challenge them. So what happened as a result? SEC insisted that gram was a security. And they did so because the cryptocurrency, according to SEC, has a positive result on Howey test. And Howey test is basically a scourge for cryptocurrency. It brings cryptocurrency from the status of cryptocurrency to a status of a security. It's a set of 4 questions which defines if anything is a security or not. Question number 1, which will be asked when any instrument or product analyzed, if there is some investment of money. And obviously, the sentence is quite clear, the language is quite clear, so obviously it's yes. It also should have effort of others. So other people should work for it. We depend not only on ourselves, but we also depend on for them to support our product. And then we'll have one more check on the Howey test. Another point is that it should have common enterprise. And the security should not be just an investment of a single investor, it should be an investment in a common enterprise. And finally, one of the more important things about blockchain and cryptocurrency in general is about expectations. When investors invest into something, they should expect, they hope that they will get something in return. It's not about just promoting advance and doing something good, it's all about getting money. So what happened? The court decision, it actually lasted for a while. It started in 2018 and basically until March 2020. As a result, the SEC decision was granted, was prohibited to create and issue grams, and it was obliged to notify about all the possible actions for non-fiat coins. So why did this happen? First of all, besides Howey test, they realized that you cannot buy any goods for grams. So that's why it was a security, deemed as a security. If, for example, Telegram would sell something else, or they would sell something else besides the merch in their store, maybe the result would be different. And another important point, which we could interpolate to other blockchains and cryptocurrency. Now we have the open network, and this blockchain works using proof-of-stake mechanism, and it's very important. It was not, but there are some rumors that they really don't like proof-of-stake there. So why is that? When we work with proof-of-stake, we have profit expectations. So you invest some money, and using staking algorithm, you basically earn money doing nothing. So what happened as a result? The Telegram left. They accepted all the decisions of the court, but they did not want to freeze the project, and they decided to move it, to give it to the community, and became an open project, as you can see here. And now the Telegram has nothing to do with the TON blockchain, and if it had, it would probably have even more legal problems. TON started to develop with the help of the community, and it's interesting here to note that. So we spoke about ICO. It's great. We investors, we have some coins, and we give these coins to early investors. And then we can work using proof-of-stake algorithm. And for this algorithm, we need investors who would stake, who would put their collateral as a stake there. And if we take a look at the Telegram, it was much easier with the initial coin offering. The first Bitcoins appeared simply because somebody decided to mine it. But since ICO was abolished, it was cancelled, and basically investors did not receive their promised grants. They had to fill the network with the coins so that it worked during the proof-of-stake. And it had a very interesting solution. To support smart contracts, the main algorithm is to use proof-of-stake. And they decided to do the following. Let's write a smart contract which basically emulates mining, which we have in the proof-of-work algorithm. And for from until even the summer of 2022, miners were solving complex mathematical problems, and they got money, they got coins for their work. Then it stopped, and now TON works using only proof-of-stake algorithm. So what can we learn from this case? And I would like to know that this is not a single example. The same thing happened to Libra. What Facebook tried to do, and Facebook is an organization prohibited in Russia. And the same happened in Ripple. They still are in court. They cannot solve their legal problems. And Ripple actually is one of the top blockchains at the moment. The best algorithm for consensus, for your theoretical blockchain, so that you would avoid any SEC problems or any other, is to use proof-of-work. Proof-of-stake has many problems for Howey test. So if we want to have for stake, then first we have mining stage and then move to proof of stake. This is what happened in Ethereum, but for a different reason. And one more point regarding the goods in a store, so that you can actually buy something for these potential blockchain coins. And one should note that SEC basically considers the only valid cryptocurrency which they have nothing to do at all is Bitcoin. And obviously it's the most conservative, the oldest cryptocurrency which has earned some trust. And all the altcoins are more about the ways to find all these altcoins are trying to find their way into the market. And obviously, stable coins are cryptocurrencies which are tied and backed up by real fiat money. And there are even stable coins which are backed up by gold. And regulators oftentimes have problems with them too. Is that some of them are securities too, because you can stake with USD. So proof of stake is not the best solution to work with the government. But obviously, is it all that bad? No, it's not. The SEC is kind of impedes with the development of the technologies and created quite a lot of problems for Pavel and Nikolai Durov, who we dearly love. But still, SEC is a very important authority. It's a very important body, and its impact can be positive on the crypto world. And its decision, and the decision by the court, will protect people from scam, from cheats and frauds and illicit financial activities. So that's all I wanted to share. Garachev Alexander, you can find me on this QR code. By the way, I'm looking for a wife and I still didn't receive anyone did not message me. But yeah, you can find me on the Telegram, you can subscribe to my channel. And after the break, we will hear you with new great lectures. Thank you very much.
И вопросы, пожалуйста.
And do we have any questions?
Совсем нет вопросов?
No questions to Alexander?
У меня такой вопрос. А почему SEC
Question. Why SEC decided to go to court with TON? Why other cryptocurrencies are successful on the market? Why did SEC not go to court with other cryptocurrencies? Maybe they buy for this currency, so why? Answer. The main reason why they turned their attention to Gram and to TON, basically we can substitute Gram with TON, is that they were very powerful. In a very short period of time, they've collected a very hefty sum of money, and it was not clear for the government how they did so. It was a precedent. And obviously, SEC is a headhunter. They look for finances, they look for Binance, Ripple, they basically these cryptocurrencies. And TON was one of the examples. And when it had the transition from proof of work to proof of stake for the issues with it. And currently they are lurking in their dungeons trying to prohibit the Ethereum, in theory at least. Question. Should we stake TON? Answer. Yaroslav, you are the expert. Answer the question. Well, actually, I'm not interested in profit. I'm interested in technology. Answer. Yes, obviously, we are very interested only in technologies. Nobody is interested in profits. Yeah, sure. So about staking, it's an interesting point. For the last few months, I've been staking TON for maybe 5 to 10%, but my validator closed. They said, okay, guys, it's not that profitable, we are not interested anymore. And one of the... Okay, so let's say it like this. Before answering how and where to stake TON, ask a question. Do you have enough of these coins? And if you have at least 10,000 coins, you can use official smart contracts, which was uploaded by the foundation, and it's very secure, very decentralized. The second option, which I believe is not that interesting, is one of the first and maybe one of the most major communities in this ecosystem is TON whales. Everybody knows that whales are people who have a lot of money and they control the market. And if you do not have their NFTs, they promise only 4.5%, and it's kind of sad. But in general, if we take a look at this investment and the potential interest in dollars, in USD, maybe it's not that bad. I hope I answered the question. Any more questions? Yeah, we can speak about this at length. We will have a break until 12:30, and you can try VR. You can talk to our speakers, and after that, at 12:30, we will speak about the DeFi Foundation, and Sergey is ready to go. I actually saw how many times Sergey double-checked his presentation. I never actually prepared so much as he did, so I'm sure he will give you something really worthwhile. And DeFi is the foundation for all these, let's say, what the Ethereum was originally, and what's the support for blockchain, for Web3, and the stuff, yes. So, questions? My question about exteriority. If this event would happen, for example, in Hong Kong or in London, would I have an ability to affect the event, or there is some alternative structures which would regulate it, or maybe another option to go away from the United States as a potential
Отличный. Ну, разумеется, SEC — это не какой-то...
Obviously, SEC is not some big brother which watches the whole world. Clearly, company somewhere in Hong Kong, in London, and you would live according to their rules. But it's clear that Telegram had some interest to be in the United States because it's one of the biggest markets. And the Americans want everybody who goes into their market to play according to their rules. Otherwise, if Telegram would not comply with the decision, with the core decision, and would go back on their promises, they would have to leave the market, and it would be worse for them. So potentially, yes, you can register somewhere else, but you would want to have some business activity in the United States, unless you have some local blockchain. Another answer. This is my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, and I did not have a direct conversation with SEC on this topic. But when I was learning about the situation, about the ecosystem, and how the government interacts with the chain, I had an impression that basically nobody can hinder you from registering a company wherever you want. But here comes a question. If SEC would want to reach you, and as we can see, with our political and geopolitical stuff happening on, if they want to do it, if they see some potential threat, let's not finish the sentence. If they see some threat, they will find a way to reach you. And in the case of Telegram, as Sasha said, Telegram is one of the biggest messengers, and implementing a cryptocurrency which is not under the control of the government into this messenger, I think 700 million users, maybe even more as of today. For them, it's a very big risk. And the same happened to Facebook. But Facebook is just the Americans who can't do really anything against the will of the SEC, so they had to sell their project basically for nothing. Obviously, I would not be sad if I would get this nothing, but Tom decided to do something. They said, okay, we have nothing to do with this, and we just give this project to open source. I think you did not mention this, Alex. Yeah, I can share it. You can stop me whenever you want. So they gave away this project to an open source, and they, just by some miracle, Tom Foundation was initialized with personal initiative, and they worked this, they continued the project. I hope I answered the question. What about the merge? I think you have the merge. Yeah, you had very good questions, and we are here to answer your questions and for us to have a different perspective. Because you can feel that when you go into some topic very, very deep, you start to live in a bubble And we might think that if we understand about cryptocurrency, everybody does so, everybody mines, everybody stakes, but then it turns out that it's not that interesting, it's not that clear for everybody, so we are very grateful for your questions. So, shall we have a break now? Let's give Alexander a round of applause.